राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Ram Ram Hare Hare.
Jai. Hari Hari Bo. Hare Krishna. Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. His Divine Grace Abhay Chanaravinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much for tuning in and attending this year's most auspicious and blessed event of the appearance day of His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. It is his 125th appearance celebration, and we are very fortunate to be able to celebrate it again this year by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada. We're going to have a very normal festival proceedings today. So we've started with Kirtan. We're going to be having the readings of different offerings from Srila Prabhupada's disciples and other devotees in the yatra. And then after that we'll be having the Abhishek. After the Abhishek, the Bhoga offering, and then we'll have finally the Guru Puja. So the program will go until at least 1 o'clock. So please stay tuned until then. This year's offering, as usual, we'll start off with His Grace Bhavananda Prabhu's offering to Srila Prabhupada. So I'll be reading out offerings, and we'll be having some of the temple devotees also read out their offerings here in the temple today. So we'll start this year's offerings with Bhavananda Prabhu's offering. Dear Srila Prabhupada, Nama Om Vishnu Padaya, Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale, Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine, Namaste Saraswati Deve, Gauravani Pracharine, Nirvishesha Shunyavadi, Paschatya Deshatarine. Jaya Srila Prabhupada. One morning in Mayapur, I saw that you were alone in your rooms. I entered and paid my obeisances and sat with you for a few minutes. Srila Prabhupada, may I ask you a question? No, not a question, a request, I asked. What is that? You replied. Prabhupada, would you please bless me that I may be your personal servant eternally? You were silent for a moment. Then you said, yes, is that all right? Yes, Srila Prabhupada, thank you very much. I paid my obeisances again and left in a joyful mood. That one promise alone has sustained me through all the highs and lows that every person, regardless of their station, must endure or tolerate in this world. During your presence and for quite a few years afterwards, you kept the afflictions of Kali Yuga at bay. A powerful ship leaves a mighty wake, and the world at large unknowingly was able to flourish. But everything comes to an end, and now the Kali Yuga is bringing to bear some of the tools in its arsenal. You have always preached to us about the four miseries of material existence: Janma, birth; Mrityu, death; Jara, old age; Vyadi, disease. You told us and told us and told us that these are the weapons of the material energy. Now we are being made all too aware of this. In 1973, you were having your massage on the veranda outside your room in Mayapur. A few of us were sitting with you. You looked at us and said, when I was young, I was very strong, and I ate halava every day. Then you lifted your right arm, and with your left hand, patted the bottom of your bicep and said, now flat tire. We all laughed, but then you gave us a very serious look and said, in a tone of very mild chastisement, don't think this won't happen to you. This particular lila pastime, as with everything you told us and have written in the mighty Bhaktivedanta purports, has significance. Now, in my 82nd year, I also can say, flat tire and laugh. However, it is no joke. Your life was dedicated to awakening us to all the perils of material existence. If I did not have your purports, I honestly am convinced I would lose my mind. An 82-year-old man has no future, but an 82-year-old aspiring Vaishnava has the entire spiritual panorama before him. You are so wonderful, kind, and merciful for having given us this future. Thank you so much for the Bhaktivedanta purports, but especially thank you for promising me that I may have your personal service forever. Srila Prabhupada, I am depending on it. With full faith and love for you, I beg to remain your eternal personal servant, Bhavananda Das. Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. So the next offering is by Bhagavati Mataji. Dear Srila Prabhupada, please accept my humble obeisances at your lotus feet. In 1976, you came to Fiji to lay the foundation of Sri Krishna Kaliya Temple in Lotaka, which was laid on the 22nd of May 1976, 45 years ago. The temple was opened on Sri Balarama Appearance Day, August 1977, 44 years ago. Srila Prabhupada, your book and your purports are your greatest contributions to all human society. You preached the teachings of our previous acharyas without changing the principles in such a way that all scholars and laymen of this modern world accepted it. In this way, you are unique. Please bless us to preach Krishna consciousness in Fiji as Vasudev Prabhu and Nandarani Mataji did to make whole Fiji Krishna conscious. Lots of pranam at your lotus feet from your humble servant, Bhagavati Devi Dasi. So the next offering we'll be hearing from is Prasuti Mataji. She sent us a MP3, so I'll just play that for you now.
Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasad Bhutale Shrimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Nityananda. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharane Nivasesha Sunyavadi Paskacha Deshatarane. Dear Srila Prabhupada, I wonder what you would say or do if you were here on the planet these days. There is so much degradation and cheating and aggressive disturbance in people's lives. There are almost no Varnashram farms or projects going on. There is nowhere to run. There is no safe place anymore. It's just an absolute fight between the demons and the ignorant and a few devotees. Practically no one, excuse me, nobody knows what's actually going on. But from where I see, from what I see, the vaccine which they are pushing on the people vigorously with all kinds of tricks and propaganda, it's just another form of intoxication, so I am not interested in taking it. I believe Krishna is the healing herb, and if I get sick, if the herb doesn't heal me, then Krishna obviously doesn't want me to be healed. So I'm so grateful to you, Srila Prabhupada, for having come to give us this incredible knowledge that you have shared with us by translating those wonderful books and all the wonderful lectures that you give, where you patiently explain and explain again so many wonderful, wonderful gems of knowledge. It is so marvelous to actually be able to think of Krishna, to know we're not this body, to serve Krishna and the devotees and the people in general by also sharing Krishna consciousness with them. So in the long run, Srila Prabhupada, you were right about the fact that Krishna consciousness will save the world. It is the only I was going to say the only reality worth knowing, and then I thought of those wonderful stories. A little boy picking up a hill and holding it on his little finger for a whole week. What? That's impossible. But they don't understand, it's Krishna. Krishna can do anything. I'm praying to Krishna to save the planet at this stage. Without Krishna's intervention, there's no chance. We are doomed. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada, I wish you were here now just to give us that wonderful, clear guidance that you were giving us all those years when you came to the West. Just being in your presence is such a wonderful experience. because your clarity vibrates out from you, but we have to do the best we can, and praying and remembering your instructions are what we have now. So that's what I'm doing, Srila Prabhupada. I'm remembering you, and I'm praying, chanting Hare Krishna, following the regulative principles, and depending on you and depending on Krishna. Thank you, Srila Prabhupada. All glories to you. All glories to the Parampara. Hare Krishna.
Jai Srila Prabhupada. So that was Prasuti Mataji giving her offering. Now I'll continue to give the offerings from the Sri Vyasa Puja book. I'll be reading from His Holiness Ramai Maharaj's offering now. And then we'll have whoever's got their offerings here in the temple ready to speak. So this is an offering to Srila Prabhupada from Ramai Maharaj. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya, Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale, Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine, Namaste Saraswati Deve, Gauravani Pracharine, Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. I offer my respectful obeisances unto His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, who is very dear to Lord Krishna, having taken shelter at His lotus feet. Our respectful obeisances are unto you, O spiritual master, servant of Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami. You are kindly preaching the message of Lord Caitanya Deva and delivering the Western countries which are filled with impersonalism and voidism. Srila Prabhupada, in your purport to Bhagavad-Gita, chapter 4, text 15, you write, there are two classes of men. Some of them are full of polluted material things within their hearts, and some of them are materially free. Krishna consciousness is equally beneficial for both of these persons. Those who are full of dirty things can take to the line of Krishna consciousness for gradual cleansing process, following the regulative principles of devotional service. Those who are already cleansed of the impurities may continue to act in the same Krishna consciousness, so that others may follow their exemplary activities and thereby be benefited. I am very fortunate that Krishna consciousness is beneficial for both types of people, because I am definitely in the category of one with many polluted things in the heart. By your mercy, I have been engaged in the process of Krishna consciousness, and someday I may come to the level of being freed from impurities. In fact, at my initiation, you said that all the new disciples should become pure as quickly as possible. Krishna is pavitram, pure, and to associate with Him nicely, we should be of the same spiritual nature. I am still endeavoring, Srila Prabhupada, but sometimes I stumble. Please help me become 100% completely fixed in devotional service to the Lord. Help me stay on the path without my mind wandering to other places. As Lord Chaitanya says, let me taste the real nectar we are always hankering for. Here in New Govardhan, every Ekadasi the devotees see and listen to your lectures on a screen in the temple room. How wonderful and powerful they are. Your words cut through Maya like a hot knife through butter. How learned you are. You continuously quote from many different shastras to emphasize points in an authorized manner. How compassionate you are. Patiently you explain everything clearly in a constructive way to uplift people to the transcendental position. If I could possess 1/10,000th of your qualities, I am sure I would advance rapidly in my Krishna consciousness, but I know I do not have even that many. For me, advancement is slow. However, I have faith that if I hold on to your lotus feet and associate nicely with the devotees in ISKCON, ultimately I will go back home, back to Godhead. Or being purified, I will get the opportunity to serve you and the Lord again in this material world. Either way will be perfection for me. So Maharaj has also got a poem he's written at the end of his offering. His life of virtuous thought and deed, the lives of others did exceed. From whom but Prabhupada shall I hear those words that ever charm my ear? No one like Srila Prabhupada shall be, a wonderful guiding light for me. He of high and noble mind, gentle, modest, meek and kind. Ignorant we were, just foolish youth. We clung to him for constant truth, yearning to stay by his holy side, to hear instructions that were bona fide. Sacred texts he presented clear and pure, an offering that shall always endure. He was always ready to speak and give knowledge of where we eternally live. Devotional service with its every limb, brilliantly taught and explained by him. Like a king with a powerful wondrous bow, he drove away Maya and made us glow. He filled my soul with nectar so high, I began to feel bliss, though a fool was I. The more he gave, the more I drank. For this kind of mercy, him I'll ever thank. Srila Prabhupada is my only hope, without whom I could never cope. With suppliant hands and reverent head, I must always remember what he said. He is dearer to me than light and life. My existence before was only strife. Please, Srila Prabhupada, always show the way to someone like me who goes astray. Your servant, Ramai Swami. So our next offering is by His Holiness Devamrita Swami Maharaj. Dear Srila Prabhupada, please accept my deeply considered and most respectful obeisances at your lotus feet. We glorify you for delivering the Western world from impersonalism and voidism. Yet you set in motion another extraordinary mission impossible. You dared present to the ignoble West what is a real civilization. Exposing the primitiveness, you boldly taught the essential precepts and norms of real human life. Otherwise, how would the developed world ever know the actual human standard? This inheritance you passed on to us still remains intact, despite the usual erosive effect of time. Constantly we ponder and deliberate the underlying themes you propounded. How to execute your desires is our life and soul. You sought to redefine what is genuine social progress and advancement. So Maharaj is quoting an excerpt here. It's a conversation between Prabhupada and a devotee. Srila Prabhupada. So they have mentioned American Hindus. Chuckles and pauses. So Prabhupada laughs and then he pauses. It is a dead blow to the material civilization. No drinking, no intoxication, no meat eating, no gambling, no illicit sex. Their whole civilization is finished because they stand on these things, 4 pillars. Devotee. Therefore we must present a better civilization. Srila Prabhupada. Devotee. We must present a better civilization. Srila Prabhupada. Yes, not better or best, the civilization. 5 decades ago in the wild, so that's the end of the excerpt. 5 decades ago in the Wild West, despite pandemic hippiness, makeshift notions of a crude moral culture and social cohesion prevailed. But today's version of a society posing as civilized is, on a mass scale, in many ways more barbarous and dangerous. More barbarous and dangerous. Your aging disciples can observe that even the primitive social mores and quasi-cultural attributes prevailing during our youth are in shreds, to the extent that comparatively the 60s and 70s can seem like Dwapara Yuga. During your days with us, thousands of refugees from the Neanderthal West flocked to your mission. But in India, the land of Dharma and Krishna, scant jivas back then took shelter of your mission. Today the situation is dramatically reversed. We can observe that aspects of the social terrain, the context, the milieu, do change over time. But the quintessential process you gave us for watering the bhakti sprouts, creepers and trees remains as inconceivably effective as ever. Early in 1977, you stated that the time would come when people would applaud your mission for having saved humanity in its most dire hour. Darkening the sky, the dreadful storm clouds of new viruses, environmental havoc, and nuclear warfare threatened the entire planet. Nevertheless, the life-sustaining bhakti seeds you planted and nurtured continue to grow. By your fulfilling the desire of Mahaprabhu, what you granted the critically tormented world successfully persists as humanity's genuine hope and rescue. Your lowly servant, Devamrita Swami. Jai Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Okay, so we'll get devotees who have offerings here in the temple room to come forward and please speak.
Dear Srila Prabhupada, please accept my humble obeisances at your lotus feet. All glories to you on the most auspicious occasion of your Vyasa Puja. The veritable corpus of transcendental knowledge you have gifted us is vast and unlimited. Even if we manage to successfully read all of your books at least a few times, the realizations that are to be had are boundless. Not only are your books perfectly great, but the spiritual reality that they describe is also inconceivably great. The real knowledge that you present bestows genuine humility upon your followers as opposed to illusory, temporary knowledge which swells us with conceit and arrogance. Recently in your book, Teachings of Lord Caitanya, I was reading about this humility as you recounted the initial meeting between Srila Sanatana Goswami and Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu. As Mahaprabhu embraced the emaciated body of his associate, Sanatana replied meekly, "My dear Lord, please do not touch me." When Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu said to Sanatana Goswami, "Krishna is very merciful and is the deliverer of fallen souls. He has saved you from Maharorava." Sanatana replied, "I do not know the mercy of Krishna, but I can understand that your mercy upon me is causeless." Similarly, Srila Prabhupada, we can comprehend to some degree the inconceivable mercy of Krishna through your causeless mercy upon us. Sri Krishna has fully empowered you with his Swakripa Shakti, the potency and ability to distribute devotion to him, Krishna, to anyone of your choosing. In this way, you are a perfect representative of eternally liberated souls such as Narada Muni. Although your Vapu manifestation is no longer present, we can readily experience and appreciate your mercy upon us in the form of your books, your disciples and devotees, your instructions, especially to chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, the deities you established, and the great grand spiritual embassies you constructed. All this fills us with humility and gratitude. We never deserved this, nor did we ever desire this. But alas, Srila Prabhupada, my endeavor to remain humble is too often thwarted by my offensive mentality, particularly towards other Vaishnavas. As the creeper of devotion slowly unfurls its first two supple leaves in the form of Kleshagni, relief from material miseries, and Shubhada, true auspiciousness, I all too often allow the mad elephant to trample this transcendental seedling. Srila Jiva Goswami quotes that if we physically harm, blaspheme, become envious of, or hateful of, fail to glorify, become angry with, or not become joyful upon seeing another devotee, we still harbor the offense of Vaishnav aparad within our heart. Just as Krishna's mercy is visible through the compassion of his devotees, similarly, genuine humility and gratitude is visible not through direct service to Krishna, but through menial service to his devotees. Tad vidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshanti te jnanam jnaninas tattva darshana. Real humility, born from transcendental knowledge, is had by genuine service to and inquiry from other Vaishnavas. Srila Prabhupada, though you are supremely qualified, you remain the paragon of humility. Srila Sanatana Goswami further gives us his definition of humility as outlined in his Brihad Bhagavatamrita. Quote, The wise men call humility that feeling which makes the most qualified person consider oneself to be low and unqualified. Intelligent, practicing devotees should follow with their words, activities, and intelligence in the footsteps of those in whose hearts this humility is fixed, and they should never act contrary to this." End quote. Srila Prabhupada, I do not wish to act contrary to this firm advice. Dear Srila Prabhupada, on this auspicious occasion of your divine appearance, please bless me that I can realize the necessity of and develop genuine humility through Vaishnava Seva. In this way, I am certain Guru Gauranga and Sri Sri Radha Gopinath will smile at me. Your insignificant servant, Sriman Narasimhadas.
You should hold their basis if you can, sir.
Dear Srila Prabhupada, please accept my prostrate obeisances in the dust of your lotus feet. All glories to the divine, all auspicious appearance. In your pranam mantra we first address you with Nama Om Vishnu Padaya. Real strength, as we have been meditating upon also recently when celebrating Balaram Purnima, has nothing to do with how muscular, stout and strong a person is. In fact, in your manifest pastimes, many times your outward body was in such a precarious condition that your beloved disciples were in great pain seeing you like that. And yet, even in such a condition, when many times doctors thought that you would not survive upon leaving their care, you kept on preaching, serving the order of your spiritual master and the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna. Even of the laws of material nature we had been largely ignorant until we came under the shining rays of your transcendental knowledge. But with your personal example you defied these laws of material nature, demonstrating to us that there is a higher nature under which great souls like yourself were operating. So where did this inconceivable strength which you demonstrated come from? At the start of 5th canto Srimad Bhagavatam, Maharaj Parikshit is pointing out to Shukadeva Goswami. Elevated Mahatmas who have taken shelter of the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead are fully satiated by the shade of those lotus feet. Their consciousness cannot possibly become attached to family members. Srimad Bhagavatam 5.1.3. In his reply, Shukadeva Goswami confirms this using the words, "One who is attached to the nectarian honey of the Lord's lotus feet and whose mind is always absorbed in his glories may sometimes be checked by some impediment, but he still never gives up the exalted position he has acquired." From this we can understand how you could perform all these superhuman feats, most important of which is stopping the cycle of repeated birth and death, which you are doing for so many fallen souls. As Shukadeva Goswami stated that impediments may be there even for the greatest souls, but they cannot possibly be swayed from their position of serving the Lord. Such real bala comes from being firmly situated in the shelter of the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It is a great paradox for us conditioned souls to comprehend that real imperishable strength descends upon oneself when one is completely surrendered to the Lord, thinking oneself utterly helpless without His mercy, protection and guidance. That is also why you allow us to address you with the rare title Prabhupada, for as you explained it indicates a person who himself has taken shelter at the lotus feet of the Prabhu, namely his Guru and Krishna, and who in turn is thereby able to grant shelter to many others. In a purport to a verse in which the pretators humbly express their insufficiencies in offering prayers to the Lord, appealing for His causeless mercy to nonetheless accept them, you explain how the all-perfect personality of Godhead can be approached by the tiny conditioned soul. You write, "One who is brought under the lotus feet of the Lord by the endeavor of the Lord's servant, the spiritual master, is certainly immediately purified, however low-born he may be. Therefore, having come to this mortal world, Bhutale, going to great pain to lift the fallen souls out of the clutches of Maya, you are most dear to Krishna, Krishna Prastaya. Pages and pages composed by the greatest poets would not be able to do justice to describe your glories and mercy, so what to speak of these few humble words. Srila Prabhupada, I simply thank you for your unlimited compassion and mercy, which you are showering even upon the most unqualified like myself, who in the Western countries had been taught that the depths of Kali Yuga would be life's goal. Paschyate Deshatarine. Srila Prabhupada, I beg that despite my lack of sincerity, you may continue to pour your mercy into my begging bowl. In this way only I can aspire to somehow become a useful instrument in your mission. Your insignificant servant of your servant, Ishwara Shardas.
Okay, we'll now read out offerings from devotees who sent their offerings to offerings@iskcon.com.au for Srila Prabhupad Vyasa Puja. Okay, the first offering is from Krishna Sangha Mataji. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada, our dearest Srila Prabhupada, please accept my humble obeisances at your lotus feet. All glories to you. Jagat Guru, without you, we won't know and understand who Krishna is and his pastimes, and also what the purpose of our lives is. Your purports are so relishing and full of rasa. Without you, we wouldn't know how to glorify Krishna and the Maha Mantra. Without you, we wouldn't know Mahaprabhu, Lord Sri Krishna Caitanya, and his associates. I don't have any quality or capability in me. I only know that chanting is our only way back to Godhead. You have showered your mercy through your books. Srila Prabhupada, on this special day, please bless us that we can always be engaged in Krishna consciousness and never forget Krishna. From your most fallen, Krishna Sangha Devidasi. Next offering is from Sri Nagwan. Hare Krishna, Srila Prabhupada, Dhanavat Pranam. On this occasion of your 125th appearance day, I would like to thank you for exemplifying how we can aspire to serve the Lord in every possible way with our life, wealth, intelligence, and words. It blows my mind away when I think about your sincerity in selflessly dedicating your whole life to fulfilling the instructions of your Guru and attracting thousands around the world to the lotus feet of Lord Krishna. When I hear your glories, I feel grateful to be able to see how Caitanya Mahaprabhu's prophecy has come true in this age of Kali, where in every town and village in the world the chanting of the Lord's holy name will be heard. And most of all, thank you for taking the whole world and spiritual rebels like me under your boundless shelter. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai, your servant Sri Nagwan. The next offering is by Nandini Mataji. Srila Prabhupada's offering. Respected Srila Prabhupada, please accept my humble obeisances unto your lotus feet. Dear Srila Prabhupada, you have been very merciful to us. It is because of your compassion that we have the good fortune of serving Lord Sri Krishna. It is because of you that we have access to transcendental Vedic knowledge. It is because of you that we can chant and hear the holy names of the Lord. And it is because of you that we know about Lord Caitanya and have this rare opportunity to serve his mission. It is because of you that I am here writing this offering and have an opportunity to serve Lord Krishna. Your contribution to our lives is priceless. You are and always will be placed at the center of my heart. Thank you so much, Srila Prabhupada. On this special day of your Vyasa Puja, I pray and beg for your mercy so that I do not forget my first duty, to keep in constant contact with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. I beg you to give me inspiration, intelligence, determination, and strength to accept only those things which please you and reject those things that displease you. Please always remember the true source of my power. Let me always remember the true source of my power and abilities. Please allow me to remain your servant eternally. I have a passion for singing and beg your mercy so that I can always engage this for Krishna's service. I long to play harmonium and kartals as well, and I need your mercy to learn it and offer these for the pleasure of Lord Krishna and to you, Srila Prabhupada. I also beg your mercy to shower blessings on my brother and bring him in Krishna consciousness. Last but not least, I would like to thank Ganesham Prabhu for giving me this rare opportunity to express a few words in your glory. Even though I am insignificant, I pray to you I pray you to always shower your mercy upon him, so that he can continue your mission in saving fallen souls like me from misery. Thank you so much for everything you have given us, forever indebted at your lotus feet. Your insignificant servant, Nandini, Mother Anju Mataji, Brother Madhava. 1 second. Okay, Mahaprabhu TV is not working. Can one of you go and figure it out? Ishwarpur, can you call Nandagopal? Okay, so the next offering is by Gaur Gopal Prabhu. He's given an e-card. Thank you, Srila Prabhupada, for spreading Krishna consciousness. Thank you, Srila Prabhupada, for making so many people join Krishna consciousness. Thank you, Srila Prabhupada, for going around the world to spread Krishna consciousness and make people chant the Mahamantra. Thank you, Srila Prabhupada, for Mala, Japa. Thank you, Srila Prabhupada, for teaching others how to do devotional service. Thank you, Srila Prabhupada, for publishing books, Vedas, scriptures, to read and become devotees. The next offering is by Hrishikesh Gawade. Dear Srila Prabhupada, a happy appearance day to you. May Lord Krishna bless you on this big occasion event of your birthday and Krishna's birthday. Hope you have a good day, and may you get whatever you like from your mother or Krishna's mother. Your spiritual great-grandson, Hrishikesh Gawade. The next one is by Bharat Gawade. Dear Prabhupada, thank you for teaching us how to cook for Krishna. Thank you for teaching us how to make clothes for Krishna. Thank you for teaching us how to do everything for Krishna. Thank you for making books about Krishna like Krishna book, Bhagavad-Gita and Mahabharata. By Bharat Gawade.
It's only Mahaprabhu TV that's not working. You should ask him to switch to YouTube or Facebook.
Okay, just a small announcement. Mahaprabhu TV is not working at the moment, but if you switch to Facebook and YouTube, you'll still be able to hear the offerings and also continue participating in Vyasa Puja. Okay, so the next offering is given by Toshan Krishna Prabhu. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatharine. I offer my humble obeisances unto His Divine Grace, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada, on your 125th Vyasa Puja, on this milestone anniversary, we are all reminded of your immense and immeasurable legacy, what you have achieved in your manifest pastimes, and what you continue to achieve by your mercy, that which keeps any of us, that which keeps any of our spiritual activities alive today. Yet you have made it clear that the heart of your contribution are your books, your transcendental literature, and your desire that these books be distributed everywhere into the hands of all the conditioned souls who so desperately need them, and all the unconditioned souls who relish them much the same. But even within your books, we can read that a certain aspect takes center stage. This is an excerpt. The verses aren't important. There are so many translations, more or less accurate, and the Sanskrit is always there. It's my purports that are important. This is taken from the Hare Krishna explosion by Hayagriva Prabhu. I do not have, this is Toshan Krishna Prabhu continue, I do not have the mouths or the realization to glorify your Bhaktivedanta purports to the degree that they deserve, and yet it would be worse not to glorify it at all. It would be worse not to glorify at all. How many translations and editions of the Bhagavad-Gita had been printed before you delivered to us the Bhagavad-Gita as it is? How many different editions have been printed after? Out of all of these, how many were able to transform the world as your Bhagavad-Gita as it is did and continues to do? Just as my unfortunate eyes are unable to recognize that the deity form of Krishna is Krishna himself, and only by the mercy of devotees I may learn otherwise, in exactly the same way, we are unable to see the true message and teachings of Bhagavad-Gita. But with your purports, suddenly we have some opportunity to see. Suddenly what was beyond our understanding is given to us in such a clear yet beautiful English. How then can we even compare to all the other editions that attempt to deliver the words divorced from their meaning, from their message? No Bhagavad-Gita was able to achieve what yours did because they were not decorated with stunning ornaments of your Bhaktivedanta purports. Srimad Bhagavatam is Krishna himself, and yet we have not the eyes to appreciate or see that. We do not know that Srimad Bhagavatam is Krishna himself in book form, as we do not know that the Murti of Krishna is Krishna himself. Yet in both cases, through your causeless mercy, you illuminate us. We are not able to see that all you see, but through your mercy, the Bhaktivedanta purports teach us the appropriate way to have darshan of Shastra. Even Sri Krishna Caitanya Mahaprabhu, Krishna himself, sought out the guidance of the great Vaishnava Ramananda Roy in Sastric realization, and Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami tells us that Gauranga Mahaprabhu was enriched by such knowledge. Srila Prabhupada, just by reading your transcendental purports, we can consider ourselves in a sense even more fortunate than if we could have heard the Bhagavad-Gita from Krishna himself on the battlefield. For you are giving us your insights and realization from the perspective of the Vaishnava, a perspective so valuable even Krishna learns from it. Srila Prabhupada, how can we ever in eternity repay what you have given us, especially in your life-giving Bhaktivedanta purports? Your worthless aspiring servant, Toshnan Krishna Das. The next one is by Prachi Narera. Respected our spiritual Guru Srila Prabhupada, please accept my humble obeisances at your lotus feet. I consider myself extremely fortunate to be able to write this letter to you, and all glories to you. You have been so merciful upon all of us. You are deliverers of the fallen souls like us. I am not even qualified to thank you for your eternal kindness. Today, if we are able to chant, sing and dance on kirtans, it is all because of you. You conveyed the gist of Vedic knowledge to us in the simplest way possible and guided us towards the light of Bhakti Yoga. You showed us the path towards the ultimate goal of life. You gave us the most precious way to live and brought substance to our life. Please bestow your mercy upon me and give me the opportunity to serve you more and more. May I never deviate from my path. I beg you for your causeless mercy. Your humble servant, Prachi Narera. The next one is from Tanvir Prabhu. Dear Srila Prabhupada Ji, please accept my humble obeisances at your lotus feet. Srila Prabhupada Ji, I don't have the choicest words to describe how eternally grateful I am for what you have done for us. My life could never have been this blissful if it was not because of you. You showed us the path and taught us the way to live transcendently through always remembering Krishna and developing consciousness of Krishna for everything and everything we do. Everything that we are experiencing today is because of your mercy, through your transcendental books and eternal prasadam. It is because of your mercy I am able to know the name of our eternal Supreme Lord Krishna. It is because of your mercy only that we all are able to direct our consciousness to the rightful way of living and making our life successful in the right sense. Your appearance is a blessing to this planet. Thank you for giving us this lifetime opportunity to attain Radha Krishna and serve you always. Thank you for your dearest and causeless mercy, Srila Prabhupada Ji. Thank you for your divine appearance, Srila Prabhupada Ji. Your aspiring servant, Tanvir Das. The next offering is by Yuresh Sridevi and Janvi Shri. Hare Krishna Srila Prabhupada, Dandavat Pranam. It gives immense joy as it is your appearance day on which we get to hear, experience the special offerings of love and devotion by all your disciples. We are forever grateful to you and to your faithful disciples for giving us great knowledge and wisdom of Krishna consciousness. Your journey, your literatures, your disciple, ISKCON culture and its spiritual activities transformed our lives in such a way that there is no other desire left but to be associated with only Lord Krishna and his devotees. We are forever grateful to you, Srila Prabhupada, for giving us opportunity to learn and chant the holy names, Mahamantra, irrespective of our qualifications. ISKCON Siddhiyatra ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Shri Radha Gopinath Bhagavan ki jai. Your humble servants, Yuresh Sridevi and Janvi Shri. The next offering is by Manish Mishra. Hare Krishna, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. I was a wasted soul living in darkness since last year until I came in contact with ISKCON Sydney after being born and living on this planet since 1984. ISKCON and I started on a very bad note. I do not think Srimati Radharani was pleased with me back then. I read an article in the newspaper in 2004 when I was living in Delhi. The article was like that ISKCON is managed by Americans and I'll start again. I read an article in the newspaper in 2004 when I was living in Delhi. The article was like that ISKCON is managed by Americans and they will do the same what East India Company did in India. So I was never inclined towards ISKCON, and these thoughts just carried over my senses, and I never had any association with ISKCON. Lord Krishna kept me away for so long. Destiny has its own play, and I came to Sydney in 2007, and I came to visit ISKCON Sydney in 2011, but unfortunate again, the temple was closed. I came to Janmashtami in 2019 with a big bouquet of flowers, waiting in the queue with my wife. I did not know Srila Prabhupada Ji then. Lord Gopinath's darshan was not open then for some reason, but a devotee asked me if I would like to offer my flowers to Srila Prabhupada Ji. I was like, no, why would I offer my flowers to Babaji? They are for Krishna and I will offer this to Krishna only, and because the temple was closed, I did not offer it to Lord Krishna. My false ego asked me to take them home rather than offered at the temple, and I did not have a good experience, and I was like that I would never visit ISKCON again. I had to wait another year to grow my association with ISKCON, but I do not know how, but I must have done some pious activity in my previous births. Through one of the WhatsApp groups, somebody posted that ISKCON Mangaluru is offering Understanding Bhagavad-Gita in 18 days, 18 chapters in 18 days. The class would be for an hour virtual. I joined that course, and that is how it all started. It was an eye-opener, and I really wanted to serve Lord Krishna in some way, and that is how Lord showers His mercy. ISKCON Sydney was looking for volunteers to serve, and I applied, and I was rostered for my first shift. Prabhu, Mataji, oh my God, it was too great. It was too overwhelming, and I was so ecstatic after my first shift. I never felt that great. It was majestic, and I can't express that in words. Lord Gopinath has always been very merciful since then, and so is Srila Prabhupada Ji. My association with Lord Gopinath has only gone deeper since then. I used to start my day with rice and chicken in the morning as breakfast and all other animals. It has been a drastic change since my association. I have even quit onion and garlic and all other addictions, following the regulative principles with Bhakti Path, all because of the mercy of Srila Prabhupada and Shri Shri Radha Gopinath Ji. I would like to thank all the devotees of Lord Gopinath, Shri Ganesham Prabhu, Shri Prem Sagar Prabhu, and everyone who is associated with the service of Lord Krishna. I do not know what will be my next birth, but even if I am born as a dog, I would like to be born in a family of devotee so I could taste some prasadam, or be a stray dog in Puri Dham so I could taste Lord Jagannath's prasadam. Shri Shri Radha Gopinath ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Radhe Radhe, Manish Mishra. So the next offering is from Shavanti, Naveen and Avyukta. Dear Srila Prabhupada, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to your lotus feet. All glories to Sri Guru and Gauranga. On your holy 125th appearance day, I would beg to thank you for your causeless mercy upon me, a truly fallen soul. Extremely grateful to you for establishing Shri Shri Radha Gopinath Mandir and their Nitya Seva in Sydney and opening the door for Vrindavan in this corner of the world. You are the true Jagat Guru, as you could train thousands of your followers so perfectly that everyone speaks in a similar, authentic way when they preach about Krishna, while I fail to train my own kid. Words are definitely not enough to thank you, Srila Prabhupada, but we'll still say thank you for giving us Bhagavad-Gita as it is book and Bhakti Shastri program to systematically approach that eternal wisdom. By your mercy, the gigantic merciful Srimad Bhagavatam books are handily available to us. Beg your mercy so that I can read them daily. Thanks for translating Caitanya Charitamrita and arranging for those classes to restart at our temple, and for giving us that nectar every day. Thanks for all the wonderful devotee association you have blessed us with. Kindly give your mercy and bless me, dear Srila Prabhupada, so that I can chant effectively every day in the morning and serve Krishna always, but not my senses. Thank you so much for showing my Guru Maharaj, and begged your mercy to take shelter and get initiated soon. Please help me and my family to progress in Krishna consciousness and develop love for Krishna. Jai Srila Prabhupada, Jai Srila Gurudev. Your servants, Shravanti, Naveen and Avyukta. So that's the end of the offerings.
Hare Krishna, Srila Prabhupada. Few more offerings. Dear Srila Prabhupada, please accept my humble and respectful obeisances unto your lotus feet. On this auspicious occasion of your 125th Vyasa Puja, I would wish you happy appearance day. Srila Prabhupada, first time I saw you on TV when I was a child, maybe some news related to ISKCON, I used to always think, who is so-called sadhu who walks so fast and speaks with so much confidence? I had no knowledge about ISKCON and that you are the founder Acharya of ISKCON. I also didn't know that you had already left this planet before I was born. My grandfather was a very generous person and a great devotee of Lord Rama. And when I grew up, I found that my grandparents used to visit ISKCON Juhu temple for festivals of Ram Navami, which was also followed by Mother. This is how I was introduced to ISKCON and just visited a couple of times before coming to Australia. Srila Prabhupada, I have been brought up celebrating Krishna Janmashtami festival as a huge festival. And so this was my favorite festival throughout the year. My parents followed path of bhakti since I was child and got involved in reciting Bhagavad-Gita. I was always been instructed to follow the same path. Although without understanding meaning and purpose, I was reluctant to accept the knowledge. However, when I moved to Melbourne, I was fortunate to visit ISKCON Sri Sri Radha Vallabhji's temple regularly, but only for prasadam purpose. I never had darshan of deities with that desire to become Krishna conscious. After having enough of prasadam from Sri Radha Vallabhji, I was caught by Sri Sri Radha Gopinathji here in Sydney when I moved to Sydney. The reason I wanted to mention my journey was that, Srila Prabhupada, you gave such a simple process of bhakti simply by honoring prasadam, having darshan of deities without any spiritual desire, attending without any material desire, attending aratis, chanting, reading your books, preaching about Krishna, helping each soul, living entity on the planet to progress in the path of bhakti, realize their identity and how to love Krishna with the help of spiritual master. This was not possible by any other processes which I came across in my life. Srila Prabhupada, if you were not there in our life, who would have given us these nectarian books? Who would have given us such a beautiful process of worshipping deities, chanting Mahamantra? Who would have told us the description of the Supreme Personality of Godhead? Who would have given us such sumptuous and delicious prasadam? Who would have given us such a loving spiritual master? My life is indebted to your services and gifts. You gave unconditionally souls like us an opportunity and helped us get connected with our original Father, realizing our purpose in life and the destination of our life. You gave us beautiful Vrindavana, Mayapurdam and Jagannath Puri. Thank you so much for everything you have done for us. On this auspicious day, I would wish to request you one more thing. Please bless me and my family so we can follow this path of bhakti with continuous dedication and enthusiasm. Lovingly, your granddaughter and a servant, Mani Bhushita Radha Devidasi. Srila Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Desha Tarine. Hare Krishna, dearest Srila Prabhupada, please accept my humble obeisances, and before we proceed, O merciful and compassionate one, please forgive this fallen soul who would have committed sins knowingly and unknowingly. Although I have no qualifications whatsoever, today I come before you with a humble prayer in my heart. All glories unto the founder Acharya of ISKCON, all glories to our well-wisher, all glories to Sri Sri Radha Krishna's dearest devotee. All glories unto him who shed the brilliant light of Srimad Bhagavatam upon the ignorant souls trapped in the darkness and clutches of Maya. Just as you adhered to your spiritual master, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur's instructions to preach Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's message throughout the whole world, please keep your blessing upon us so that we continue your divine spiritual legacy, so that the whole world becomes Krishna conscious and goes back home, back to Godhead, to serve their lordships eternally. Your courageous journey to enlighten the global fallen souls had awakened us from the miseries of Maya and allowed us discover the glorious spirituality that no one would have dreamt of. O Savior of the world, although you have disappeared from our eyes just like the soul, your instructions through your Vani in your lectures and books exist eternally, which constantly direct our focus unto the lotus feet of Sri Sri Radha Krishna, allowing us to get away from the clutches of illusion. It is because of you that we have been provided with the spiritual Vedic books fully translated for us to understand. They are like our instruction manuals to direct our life unto the path of devotional service to achieve our life's goal. Having joined Krishna consciousness at a very young age, as a child, I was attracted by your beautiful descriptions of Sri Krishna and his beauty in the illustrations throughout your various books. Furthermore, after hearing from you and your disciples, reading from your spiritually charged books and engaging in devotional service, my faith and love towards their lordships grew intensely. Also, under the guidance of my parents, Siksha Gurus, and the association of pure devotees in this big ISKCON family, this Krishna conscious journey was blissful and spiritually educational, as it taught me that we have an eternal relationship with the Lord, but being entangled in this mundane world, we have forgotten about it. And you, being our best well-wisher, have once again guided us to the correct path. I humbly pray to you, Srila Prabhupada, that you are pleased with the little devotional service offered to you and to Sri Sri Radha Krishna, and pray also for your patience as I endeavor to evolve the service to you, Sri Krishna, Srimati Radharani, and their devotees each day. We are all eternally indebted to you for guiding us on the path of Krishna consciousness and helping us connect our life to the service of Sri Sri Radha Krishna. Although there is so much service to be done, by your mercy and blessing only can we all come together as a family and execute your spiritual mission. Kindly please help us. Thank you. All glories to your divine grace. Srila Prabhupada Vyasa Puja Maha Mahotsav Ki Jai. Your lowly humble servant, Mrunal. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Dearest Srila Prabhupada, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. All glories to you on this auspicious day of your Vyasa Puja. It was only due to your mercy of coming to the Western world where countless fallen souls were able to get into Krishna consciousness and be liberated from their conditioned life. Your actions have also been prophesied by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. I was brought into Krishna consciousness by my parents when I was 4 years old, and I have been reading your books ever since. I always loved it when my mum would read different stories from the Bhagavatam, as they were always inspiring and wonderful to read. My parents would almost always put lectures and kirtans on by you and your disciples, such as His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj, and they have inspired me to also be involved in such activities. I have learned to play the mridangam and play at our regular weekly programs as well as our hall programs. I am very thankful for all your teachings, as I have been able to understand that I am not the body, I am the soul. I also read your books, especially the Srimad Bhagavatam. However, I still have to finish them. I have been able to gain new realizations through your translations and purports. Prithivite Achayata Nagaradi Grama Sarvatra Prachara Hoibe Moranama. In every town and village, the chanting of my name will be heard. Chaitanya Charitamrita 2.25.264. Lord Krishna has chosen you to follow through with what Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, and now, after only a few decades, has this become true, as there are numerous devotees across the globe in all different countries with temples established there. I'm yet another fallen soul that has been blessed with Krishna consciousness. While I was not here to witness your pastimes, you are still here in the form of the books you wrote, which allow me to deepen my connection with you. Once again, thank you very much for all that you have done for everyone, as you have provided us with the opportunity to go back home, back to Godhead. Your humble servant, Shivam. Dearest Srila Prabhupada, a very happy birthday and appearance day to you. Thank you so much for being the bestest servant to Krishna. You are such an inspiration to me and many others. All that you sacrificed, and age was no barrier. You are an inspiration. Through reading your books, I feel like I have met you. Although born into an Indian family, as I didn't learn Sanskrit and I grew up in Australia, if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't have been able to get Krishna consciousness. Thank you. Please always stay in my heart. I wish to serve and share Krishna consciousness as much as I can and help continue your movement. It may be very small, but whatever I can do to share the mercy like you did will make me feel fulfilled. I hope we all remember the efforts and sacrifices you made to share Krishna consciousness. I hope I can always treat all devotees with kindness and humbleness, and remember, we wouldn't have Krishna consciousness without you. Your servant, lovingly, Natasha Arora.
Hare Krishna. So we're having a short kirtan here while they close the curtain and Prabhupada prepares for the Abhishek. So
जय जय श्रील प्रभुपाद की। Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Okay, we're going to start the Abhishek now. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
जय प्रभुपाद जय श्रील प्रभुपाद 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 जगत गुरु जय श्रील प्रभुपाद जय प्रभुपाद जय श्रील प्रभुपाद जय प्रभुपाद जय श्रील प्रभुपाद जगत गुरु जय श्रील प्रभुपाद जय प्रभुपाद जय श्रील प्रभुपाद जगत गुरु जय श्रील प्रभुपाद जय प्रभुपाद जय श्रील प्रभुपाद जय प्रभुपाद जय श्रील प्रभुपाद जगत गुरु जय श्रील प्रभुपाद जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय प्रभुपाद जय जगत गुरु जय श्रील प्रभुपाद जय प्रभुपाद जय श्रील प्रभुपाद जय प्रभुपाद जय श्रील प्रभुपाद जगत गुरु जय श्रील प्रभुपाद जय प्रभुपाद जय श्रील प्रभुपाद जय प्रभुपाद जय श्रील प्रभुपाद जय प्रभुपदा 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 जय प्रभुपदा जय जय गुरुदेव 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Arbal. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol. Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. गौर परमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जगतगुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। गौर परमानंदे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. नाम संकीर्तन की, श्रील प्रभुपाद की, निताई गौर प्रेमानंदे। Simple. You sing. Okay.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. We're now having the Pushpanjali now, and then we'll be followed by the Guru Puja.
Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Shakshu Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Iti Namine Esha Pushpanjali. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Esha Pushpanjali. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Iti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya
देशतारिणे एष पुष्पांजलि। श्रील प्रभुपाद व्यास पूजा महो महोत्सव की जय। नमो ओम विष्णुपादाय कृष्ण पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांता स्वामीन इति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पश्चात्या देशतारिणे एष पुष्पांजलि। प्रभुपाद व्यास पूजा महो महोत्सव की।
वो किसको सब हमारे प्लास्टिक
जय प्रभुपाद जय प्रभुपाद प्रभुपाद जय प्रभुपाद जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय गुरुदेव 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 ज्योति शिला प्रभुपाद की प्रभुपाद वैश्व पूजा गुरु महामहोत्सव की। श्री गुरु चरण पद्मा केवल भक्ति सद्मा श्री गुरु चरण पद्मा केवल भक्ति सद्मा बंधुमोय सावधान मते बंधुमोय सावधान मते जहार प्रसादे भाई हे भवतरिया जाय जहार प्रसादे भाई এই ভব তরিয়া যায়। কৃষ্ণ প্রাপ্তি হয় যাহা হইতে, কৃষ্ণ প্রাপ্তি হয় যাহা হইতে, গুরু মুখ পদ্মা বাক্য চিত্তে করিয়া ঐক্য, গুরু মুখ পদ্মা বাক্য চিত্তে করিয়া ঐক্য, যে প্রসাদে পুরে সর্ব আশা, আর না করিহ মনে আশা, শ্রী গুরু চরণে রতি, এই সে উত্তম গতি, শ্রী গুরু চরণে রতি, এই সে উত্তম গতি, যে প্রসাদে পুরে সর্ব আশা, যে প্রসাদে পুরে সর্ব আশা, चक्षुदान दिल जय जन्मे जन्मे प्रभु से, चक्षुदान दिल जय जन्मे जन्मे प्रभु से, दिव्य ज्ञाने हृदय प्रकाशिता, दिव्य ज्ञाने हृदय प्रकाशिता, प्रेम भक्ति जहाँ होते अविद्या विनाश जाते, प्रेम भक्ति जहाँ होते अविद्या विनाश जाते, वेद गाए जहार चरिता, वेद गाए जहार चरिता, श्री गुरु करुणा सिंधु अधम जनार बंधु, श्री गुरु करुणा सिंधु अधम जनार बंधु, Shri Guru Karuna Sindhu Adhama Janara Bandhu Lokanath Lokera Jivana Lokanath Lokera Jivana Ha Prabhu Kara Daya Deho More Pada Chaya 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 Ebe Jash Ghushuk Tribhuvana Ebe Jash Ghushuk Tribhuvana Srila Prabhupada Patita Pavana Srila Prabhupada Patita Pavana Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Gurudev 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev 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 Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Namayom Vishnupadaya Krishna Prashkaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamine Te Namine Harval नमस्ते सरस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर शिवसदि गौर भक्त वृंद Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Bol. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Arbal. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. जय जय जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद महाभारत व्यास पूजा महामहोत्सव के
जय विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शिष्यमन इस डिवाइन ग्रेस भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी महाराज प्रभुपाद की जय अनंत कोटि वैष्णव की जय अमाचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री द्वैत राधा शिवशक्ति गौर की जय श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गौ गोपी गौ श्यामा कुंड राधा कबीर गोस्वामी की जय राम की जय नादिक नाथ धाम की जय पुरुषोत्तम क्षेत्र जगन्नाथ धाम की जय ग्रंथमाय की जय की जय भक्ति देवी की जय राम की जय समवेद गौर भक्त वृंद की जय युगल हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय श्रील प्रभुपाद ट्रांसेंडेंटल बुक डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन की जय श्रील प्रभुपाद आविर्भाव महामहोत्सव के देखे श्री राधा गोपीनाथ भगवान के जय all glories to the Supreme Body. All glories to the Supreme Body. All glories to the Supreme Body. All glories to Sri Sri Guru and Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasaya Putra. Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Name. Namaste Saraswati Devi. Gauravani Prachari Visheshana Paschata Deshitaya.
Kula